Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another lovely intro music song brought to you by Jeremy Harvey. Oh man, I missed that one. I missed it. We played a different intro song just on that last stream because I didn't want to use the Asia Pacific theme for just a practice flight I was doing. Appreciate you guys who all tuned in and commented on the last stream we did in the Delta 319. That was a lot of fun. But I am excited to be back here. We're back where we left off in Kai Tak. Had to refile my flight plan because I had us departing to the wrong airport. I think I defaulted to Hong Kong, VHHH. So refiled it, got everything set up. We're back on the gate. This route is requested by Jeremy Harvey. He's he makes all the music for the channel, all the sounds for the channel. Absolutely fantastic. So the least I could do is honor his request to fly the 321 Cathay Pacific Neo over to Taiwan. So RCTP is where we're headed today. We have a pay-aware scenery over there, a little bit of ortho, so it should be pretty nice coming in there. Right now I have us at 6 a.m. local time, so I think it's really like 3 a.m. local time, but I didn't want to do the whole flight at night. So it's dark here. We're going to watch the sun rise as we head over across the waters there to the island of Taiwan. So super excited to get this thing going. We're also going to be emulating or simulating that we have an in-op generator. For those that follow along in the Discord, I recently picked up an aircraft when I went to work that, you know, just the start of a trip, it just started that way and the whole trip just fell in place. We picked up an airplane with an in-op generator, and there's some things you got to do, especially if you have multiple legs in that airplane. There's a couple steps you got to do, additional steps that we're going to go over here in the Toliss, so that'll be something different. You get to see that, and of course we're always flying with our random failures on in the 321. You can see here I have the generator already in-opt. This is how I picked up the airplane, so it can fly like this. There's some precautions we got to take. We'll go over it, and I still have random faults on, so hopefully we don't get any more faults on this flight that would compound us to having to divert or something like that. But this livery is really, really nice. I'm liking the Cathay livery. You know I don't like the white liveries, but the Cathay Pacific one, it just seems so professional and clean to me that it definitely is. It slides into that exception box, especially with the little masking there over the cockpit windows. I just think that looks good. So good to see everybody here in chat. John Padfield, Fubar, excuse me, Tom Pasco, Andy, Chris Run, Digital Merc, Aviator Trav, Mrs. Jungles, Flying Guitarist Sam, Scott. Good to see everybody here and everyone else in chat just hanging out. So John Franco says Kai Tak is so famous I don't think I've ever seen a takeoff from there. You know what, John? I have never once executed a takeoff from this airport either. And I picked up some charts here from like an old VATSIM event, I think, where they had some departures, and we have filed this departure route, and I just got pinged from Hong Kong Center, pre-departure clearance, and the ELAT-01 Alpha. So I am hoping that this is this one here. I don't even know if it's in the database. We're going to find out. We may have to build it. It's going to be an interesting stream. So I hope you guys are ready. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, wherever you may be tuning in from. I am very excited. I'm very thankful for all of your support and all your viewership. So let's get this show on the road, shall we here? Hopping into the cockpit, completely cold and dark. I know no one really likes flying at night or streaming at night, but not to worry. Again, the sun's going to rise on this flight, so it's going to be good. So here we go, 27.9 on the voltage. We'll go battery 1, battery 2. I'm also running a hybrid sound pack here. I'm running a BSS internal with the hybrid FT-Sim LEAP sounds, and it's just if there's one thing I got to say about the LEAP Neo on X-Plane is we don't really have a good sound pack for it, for the LEAP version. Let's go, external power can come online. Airplane's going to boot up here. We'll brighten up our screens. Evening from Portugal. Well, hello. Glad to have you on board. Air America, good to see you here, bud. Welcome. Just going to do some brightening up here of the screens. I have a freshly updated database as well. And I think there's a couple more aircraft out there that spawned in. That's nice. I'd like to see that. Hello from Thailand. Mike Devil Dog, welcome. We're going to have to make a stop down in Thailand as well. Maybe in a 340-600. We'll get our RMPs on here while everything continues to boot up. So you can see here we already have our Gen 1 in op. We'll go ahead and clear status. That's normal. back to the overhead. We'll continue our overhead flow here. So we've already done that. We'll do a quick fire test of the APU. It's good. We'll go ahead and leave it off for now. Everything else looks set here. Let's do our captain flow. Crew supply oxygen. Ground control can come on. CVR test. Beep, beep. All right, let's get our nav 1, nav 2, and 3 aligning. This is the Toliss. This is the Toliss A321 Neo, the LEAP variant Neo as well. Battery light has extinguished. Let's get our lights down here. Strobes can go to auto. Nav position 1. Seatbelts off for now. We still got to fuel up. No smoking auto. Arm the emergency exit lights. We'll leave our fuel pumps off for now. Everything looks good in the pack flow. And we'll do a fire test on engine 1. And fire test in 2. Now what I'm going to do here is, just like the real airplane, this was selected off. So the fault light is normal because it's obviously not generating power right now, but when the generator is deferred, it was in the off position anyway, and there's a little MEL sticker up here. It says generator off. So generator's off. Not a big deal. We'll dispatch with 2 generators today. We'll spool up the RMP3. That looks good. Back down here, get this out of the way. Hong Kong Center 21-3. Throw that over there into nav 1. Everything else looks good here. All right. Let's get a current active sky altimeter because it doesn't look right there. We're sitting below. This neg here means negative. So right now it's 1022. We'll switch this over to Chinese units. 1022. 1022 is set. And we have a squawk code. Do I not have a... Oh, I guess I didn't bind this camera right here. We'll bind it real quick. Squawk 5266. We'll throw that in there before we forget. And we'll also just turn our transponder on at the gate. Again, that's just a VATSIM thing. John says, how did you get the different sound packs to play nice together? I was thinking of BSS, but forgot I didn't do the leaps. So, John, on the FTSIM pack, if you're a Patreon, he offers an FTSIM sound that is compatible with a BSS. Basically, you just put in the FTSIM engine sounds in the BSS pack. So, kind of best of both worlds. I'm still not 100% sold on them, but either way, we got the Carda engine mod out here, which is looking absolutely juicy. We're also rocking, if you guys have noticed, we're doing the standing room only configuration today in the 321. So I don't know what I did. It's happened to me twice now. I was in a hurry when I put on the Carda engine mod, and I must have deleted something I wasn't supposed to do. That's why if you're ever going to do any edits for your engine mods or whatever you do, make sure you always have a backup default. But I didn't want to take time to go and get the seats back in there. I figured, hey, maybe we'll have a little bit more performance anyway. But yeah, this is the standing room only maximum economy configuration 321 that we're flying today. So I thought that was kind of funny when I loaded in the airplane. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. All right, let's come down here and start doing some work. We got a nice, fresh, new database. I'm going to pull up this. I'm going to get rid of this right now, and I'm going to pull up my actual flight plan that I have loaded here. And then we got to cross-reference this flight plan with what ATC has given us. Zero gravity flight, Scott. Yes, sir. All right, so this is your pre-departure clearance, simulating ACARS data link. Cathay 357 cleared to, what's the name of the airport? I keep RCTP. Via ELAT 01 Alpha, runway 13. Climb to 7,000. Squawk 5266 for pushback stand 21-3. Okay, so let's just see if it'll pull it out of the box. I don't know if it will. VHHX to Romeo Charlie Tango Papa. And we're going to do flight number is a CPA 357. Cost index, it says 11 on our flight plan, but we're gonna bump it up 75. Our cruise flight level that we filed 350 is set. IRS init, align on ref, confirm the alignment. The temperatures are plus 11, so it's pretty warm. We'll definitely want to get that in there. So our new cruise temp is negative 44, ground temp plus 15. This is part of the FMS2, by the way. My last recurrent that I just did yesterday, it was all in an FMS2 sim, and I got some cool pictures we're going to show you on stream here as well. I've got some cool pictures I want to show you guys of the sim. Also found a nice, cool little simulator that's not an Airbus. Let's see if you guys can guess what it is. But anyway, we did a full FMS2 recurrent yesterday, and I've realized, oh, that is from FMS2. So cool to see that in here. Let's depart runway 13. Do we even have it? Oh, we do. It's in the box. Beautiful. ELA, I'm going to pull this up and go plan mode here real quick too. So this looks like it's the straight out version. That's good. That's fine. ELAT 1 Alpha, we'll insert that. So it's straight out off 13 to ELAT Oscar. And then from there, we're going to pick up an airway. So here we go, airways Gulf 581. And then we're going to go to Mike 750. I'd be curious to see if it connects these two. Let's see here. Off Dayton. Perfect. To Tonga. Love it when a plan comes together. What does the cost index mean? That's essentially how fast the flight is going to be executed. It's a balance between efficiency and speed. So the higher the cost index, the faster you're going to get to your destination, but the more fuel you're going to burn. And it's going to depend on the 0 to 100, and I think 0 to 999 on some aircraft as well. But that will be set by your company, and they'll give you a cost index to fall. Very similar to this flight plan here. For RCTP, I don't even know what runway we're going to plan on right now. Let's see what the active sky winds say. Expected wind conditions on 5. No signal 070, so that'll be good. Landing north, that'll shorten the flight a little bit. So we're going to plan to land on 5 left, and that's on the Tonga 1 Alpha via Tonga.
Come to the Gulf, got 5245.
Look at that. I love it when a plan comes together.
5245, 5245.
Turn it up a little bit. All right, so we got that set. Our secondary, we'll do a quick, here's the thing, guys. If we have to come back for an emergency, we are not coming back here. We will go to the new airport.
5245. 5245,
with the ILS 7 center, we're just going to insert that secondary perf, because if you have an emergency, this is a real life scenario as well. You know, I just going to relate it to Burbank Airport here in the States, because that's what I just did yesterday. But, you know, if you're departing Burbank and you have a non-time critical emergency, you're probably not going to come back and force yourself to land on a 4,500 foot runway. So this is the same scenario here. I'm not going to put the environmentals in right now. I just got Hong Kong in there. We can go back. Long dry runway. We don't have to worry about a checkerboard approach or dealing with any of that. So that is set, and that is a real world technique. You'll see that a lot. It's not always, your secondary is not always going to be your departure airport. As far as RadNav goes, we are going to leave it blank. The init B page here, we do have to load up. So let's take a full load since we're all economy configuration. We also need, I believe, what did we need fuel-wise here? I highlighted this in red. It only had us at 600 pounds of taxi burn, which is pretty low. So gate fuel is 16.8. Let's just call it 17.2. And we'll take... be moderately loaded. 3,400 pounds cargo. That looks good to me. Apply these load settings. That gives us a 162.0 and 25.5 for our CG. Our block fuel is 17.2. Throw that on here. That gives us an hour 40, looks like, extra gas. That looks good. We'll go ahead and close that. And again, just like our real world procedure here, we'll clear status. Let's go to our fuel page. Our fuel is on board, 8.6 and balanced, so that checks up here. Let's get our fuel pumps on. I do love this sound here. Listen to those fuel pumps just humming away here with the BSS pack. That's why I like to run this hybrid pack between the two, because he does have some really, really good internal sounds. I mean, this is real life sitting here at the gate listening to this. All right, our fuel is on board and balanced. Seatbelt sign can come on. Let's tidy up the rest of the FMS here. Last thing we need to do is get our perf data. We're gonna go flaps. You know, this Neo's like flaps 2, Toga. So we'll do 40, 40, 46 packs off. And we'll probably just leave the packs on for this takeoff. We don't think we really need packs off, but 140, 140, 146. Packs off, no flex is up 0.5. So we actually have to do this way, right? So flaps 2 / up. Whoops. Up 0.5. No flex set, no takeoff shift off runway 13. That looks good. 21.3 for push is in the box. We got our squawk code on there. A couple of things we have to do. We have to look at our MEL. We'll get our constraint mode back on here. And climb to 7,000 per the clearance is set. We got a good squawk. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU and start getting rid of some of these trucks. What is the hybrid sound pack? Scott, I'm using BSS and FTSIM. So most everything you hear is the BSS Neo pack, but remember, he only has the Pratt & Whitney engine sounds. So I've downloaded the FTSIM sound pack for LEAP engines, and he has a pack where you can just install his engine sounds over the BSS pack. So it's kind of a mix of both. John, seatbelt sign, but those seats have belts. Touche.
Radio check. Section called in, reach 5. How do you reach me? Thank you very much. Affirmative. Roger.
Cleared for landing. Where can you get this engine mod? It is the realistic engine mod from Carda. So they're in the Discord. You can check them out. You can get the link or the pinned message in the Discord, or I believe he's on the threshold. And I should have put a link in the description. If one of you admins can grab a link, that would be great. If not, I'll grab one here in just a minute. All right, that's on. We'll go ahead and external power off. APU bleed on. Start cooling it down in here. And let's go ahead and get rid of them. Here, the pack's spooling up. We'll start closing some doors.
Donation.
Donuts! What is up, sir? Thank you so much for the $10 donation. It says, hey, V1, hope all is well. Donuts on board. Hey, Donut, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Gonna need some donuts this morning here. Departing Kitech. Glad to have you on board. Thanks again for your support on the channel, man. Y321 Neo's like flap 2. I noticed that on JetBlue flights. It's part of the, I believe it's part of the rotation law. There's a slightly different rotation law, and I would imagine that has something to do with that, because even the 320 Neos, all the Neos like a flaps 2 takeoff, some even like flaps 3 depending on how short the runway is, but yeah, it's pretty common to see the flaps 2 on the Neo.
847, contact Tonkin radar, 1132.15.
Alright, so push at 21.3, so he's online. One other thing we have to do here. Okay, so for the MEL, we're going to pull up the electrical page, we'll brief this, and then we'll get off the gate.
Frequency 132.15.
Just checking something. Okay, so that's not installed, so that works. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do after engine start, we're going to do a couple things here. We are going to basically test all of our generator transfers. So after we start engines, we're going to have the APU running. We're going to isolate generator 2, and the APU should pick up the entire load like it is now. After that is completed, we're going to shut off the APU generator, and the engine 2 generator should pick up the load for both AC bus 1 and AC bus 2. So we're basically going to be checking the reversion on all of that, and of course we have to leave the AP running the entire flight. So actually that's going to change our top altitude of 330. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to set 330, and if we have ATC we'll deal with it in the cruise. But alright, that all looks good. Let's go ahead and get the doors closed. Disconnect ground power. Beacon on. And I muted the sounds because the announcements were kind of not really awesome. I'll do number 5. Sam says, didn't you say the new rotation law caused your takeoff? Yes, that is exactly true, Sam. All the takeoff callouts have been altered now. It's more in line with the original Airbus calls that they originally came out with from factory, but it has a lot to do with the Neo rotation law and an unreliable airspeed event. So, absolutely right. We'll get the push truck ready.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
There's a Cathay there. Well, let's go ahead and we'll push straight back like so. It's
Ground
time.
to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And let's give him a call.
KLM to the Gulf, taxi to holding position Mike via taxiway Echo 1 and Delta 2. Taxi position to hold position Mike via Echo 1.
Yes, Robin. The status page here of Jen would still be illuminated. It's it's correctly modeled.
Donation. Donation.
Hong Kong Center, good evening. Cathay 357, ready to push. I don't even know what gate we are at.
Copy 367, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, Cathay 357. Not quite sure what our gate is, but
Copy 357, QNH 1021.
1021, Cathay 357.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
KLM to the Gulf, QNH 1021.
So there's KLM 22 Golf.
121.
What is the overfly on the McDo button? That is to overfly a waypoint instead of fly by it, where the Airbus calculates a smart turn. So I don't really want to block this guy, but I think we're going to end up blocking him.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
There goes the jet bridge. Hopefully we handed out the paperwork. Brakes release, clear to push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Berto360, thank you for the $5 bomb, man. Appreciate that. I missed a couple of donos here. Let me get to him. Berto360, thank you for the $5 bomb, man. He says, hey, Captain and chat, happy Friday, everyone. Berto, welcome on board. Good sir, happy Friday to you. Thank you for your support on the channel. Very much appreciated. I hope you're going to have a fantastic weekend. Kick it off here with a little early morning stream in Hong Kong over to Taiwan. And seat 2A, sorry I missed your donut there, or your dono there. Since we don't have seats, I'm going to have to pee on the carpet in order to make my mark my turn don't get in my circle. Hey, seat 2A, you're going to have to change your name first off because there is no 2A anymore. But thank you for your support, man. Welcome on board. Alright, he is taxiing out that direction. Now, I do have, check this out, I do have some charts here as well. So we basically are pushing from stand 3. So this is Delta 3. So I guess I'll use this chart.
Cathay 68 and 27 push start. Cathay 67, hold position. I'll call you for, oh no, you're actually on a taxi out position, so you're clear from startup.
Starting one.
Taxi when ready.
Look at the light reflection off the Carda engine. Super juice.
Is that for Cathay 68? Cathay 68, do you copy?
Willie, the model matching I'm using
go
is,
for it,
I think it's just Bluebell CSL. It's not the best.
Radar Carda A321 English. Question calling Richard 5, how do you reach me? Richard 5, Carda A318.
That's a short taxi out. We'll go ahead and start both engines here at the gate. Or on the pushback. Oh yeah.
Radar Carda A321, you have information to the A321
Engine Gen 1 fault. Clear electric. Associated status. Gen 1 and up. Clear status.
Cleared Hong Kong.
Engine 1 is started.
Echo departure. Flight plan route.
We'll start number 2.
5,000 feet. Got 5270.
Flying with Mike. $5 dono. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super sticker, man.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set. Clear disconnect.
Disconnecting tower. Stand by.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for your support, man. Welcome on board. All right, we're firing up engine 2. Let's do it.
518, read correct. Person start approved. Carda right. Call for taxi when ready. Alright, very clear. Person start. Carda right. Carda 518.
Jeremy Harvey says, this brings tears to my eyes. We actually departed Hong Kong for Taiwan at this time in real life. It was around, you were around 10. Jeremy, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy to hear that, dude. I hope you enjoyed the stream, good sir. This one's for you, bud. What's the next stop after Taiwan? I don't know. I think we're going to have to come back to Kai Tak because we can't just fly all the way out here and only do one IGS-13 approach. I think we're going to have to come back to Kai Tak. Maybe in the 340.
And bypass pin has been removed.
That would be,
Hand signal on the
that
right.
would be pretty spicy.
Alright,
thanks for the speed push. Talk to you next time. That's good. We'll arm the spoy brake. We're going to go flaps 2 from back here. Scott, yes, remind me as soon as we get airborne. That's a flap 2 position. It is. So that's done. That's done. Okay, so here we go. APU bleed is going to come off. After start check, this is essentially complete. So now we have to do our generator checks. So this is just like we do in the real airplane, and in real life we have a MEL procedure, which we would actually, I'd call for it. I'd say let's go ahead and do the Gen 2 in-op procedure. And the first officer would go ahead and start going through the steps and performing them. So essentially what's going to happen is the effective generator 1 is off. Confirm it is off. It is off. All right. Confirm generator 2 push button off. So we're going to go ahead and turn generator 2 off. Confirm that the APU generator picks up the load, which it does. Generator 2 push button back on. All right. And now we're going to isolate the APU generator and go make sure it transfers over to Gen 2. Hard power transfer there, but you can see generator 2 now has picked up the load for AC bus 1 and AC bus 2. So APU generator back online. We're running split generators, so we have redundant power right now. But if we do lose another one of the generators, we're going to be on a single gen, which would be a divert scenario. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. We're going to keep the APU running the whole flight. Everything else looks good. And there we go. After start checklist. So we'll clear that. Turn that off. And our trim, what was it? 0.5 down, I believe. It was up 0.5. So he'll set that. You guys ready? I'm ready. And ground, Cathay 357 ready taxi.
Cathay 357, taxi holding point, runway 13 via Delta 3 and Alpha 1.
Taxi holding point 13 via Delta 3 and Alpha 1 for Cathay 357. Delta 3 and Alpha 1, so I don't have a proper chart. So here's Delta 3, oh, so it's basically straight ahead. Perfect. Taxi light can come on. We no longer need the dome light. Let's kill it. Taxi light off. Cinematic flyby taxi by view. Here it comes.
GPS 890, Quark 5313, thereafter, push not approved. 357, please remember airspace, no further ATC available, continue to call 122.18. LM2 to golf, you're clear for takeoff, runway 13. Yes, something goes through.
Not bad, not bad. There's KLM-22 Golf taking off. All right, it's a short taxi. Let's go ahead and do our checks. Let's do our flight control checks. Full up. Full down. And neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full left.
Person start approved.
Full right.
QNH
Neutral.
Cathay 687, ready to taxi. Cathay 687, taxi, holding point, runway 13, via taxiway.
I think this is it.
Delta 1, Bravo 1, and Alpha 1. Delta 1, Bravo 1, Alpha 1.
Maybe not. I think we have to go around here. Yeah, I think we got to make this turn. Our scenery is a little jacked up, but I think we'll make this turn and then we'll hold over here.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Ooh, another cafe at the gate there. Look at that. Awesome.
Come to the Gulf, identified. Climb your site, Madam 330.
Pampers check, Fubar. Sure, we're right. We never gave the tug driver the Kawati Monday salute. Absolutely right. We forgot to give him the salute. All right, I'm pretty sure this is close enough to the holding point.
Cathay 357 at Alpha 1, line up and wait, runway 13.
Alpha 1, line up and wait, runway 13, Cathay 357. All right, so there's our lineup. Before takeoff checklist, pretty much all the way done. We did everything. We're good to go. Wing lights coming on. We're line up and wait, so we're going to turn on everything except the landing lights, and we're just going to extend them. There's the hold short 13, but we're cleared to line up and wait. So here we go. We're going to line her up and wait. Love seeing all these buildings in the background too. See if we can do a proper lineup here.
Hong Kong Center, good evening. This is Sierra X-ray, going with your own with you. Request radio check.
Station Connie 325, how do you read me?
325 by 5.
Look at that lineup.
X-ray, good with your own.
Look at that lineup. Not too shabby. Oh my goodness. You can't get much better than that.
Flight level 410 and request descent.
Alright, X-ray, to Golf Victor Romeo, you're cleared, 07 Alpha arrival, expect ILS 07 right, descend by staff, flight number
I agree, John Frank. It's not too bad for X-plane lighting. I love the nighttime lighting here on the airplane model. So like the beacon flash, the strobe lights flashing. I love that. It gets me excited. Like when I remember being a kid and going on a night flight, and just seeing that, it's awesome. Brings me back.
Golf Victor Romeo, cleared 07 Alpha arrival, expect ILS 07 right.
Poltergeist, we already did an approach the last flight in here. We took the 747 on the IGS-13, but we're going to be coming back. Don't worry. We're going to be coming back into here. We can't fly all the way to Asia and only do one IGS approach. We're going to come back. We might have to do the 7-4 again. It was so fun in that 742. But we might even try the 340. We'll see. I'll put a vote up. Runway 13 clear for takeoff. Report airborne. Cathay 357. All right, you guys ready? It's packs off takeoff, so we'll go AP bleed off. Oh, I'm sorry, AP bleed on.
103.21,
You guys ready? Spool them up.
Cathay 8518, taxi on point 1807 right via Juliet and Juliet 3.
Maximum yoga's in chat. Here we go.
Right, taxi via Juliet, Juliet 3, Cathay 118.
Woo!
Negative via Juliet and Juliet 3, Hotel 07.
Mantoga SRS nav. Auto thrust blue. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check.
197, clear to Taipei via Atlantic Alpha departure.
V1.
Pen route, climb the
Rotate.
7,000 feet, QNH, correction spot 5 to
Positive rate. Hera.
Cafe 197,
Nav.
Hong Kong Center.
Flyby.
070, runway 13, squawk code 5206, clear to Taipei. QNH 110.
Hong Kong Center, Cathay 357 airborne, 1.3, climbing 7,000.
Cathay 357,
Ident, Cathay 357.
Cathay 197, negative. Initial climb altitude 7,000 feet, not flight level. 7,000 feet, sorry. Cathay 197. Cathay 197, reback correct. Start approved. Call for taxi.
Thrust climb, auto thrust.
Okay, call for taxi. 2 minutes ready.
Autopilot 1 because I want to look out the window.
Details 8990, taxi via Whiskey 2 and
Flyby.
Whiskey post short.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That is serious juice down there.
So, Whiskey 2,
That is so
Whiskey
awesome.
Osher of Hotel. Center. Negative, Philippines 890, Philippines 890, taxi Whiskey 2, Whiskey Short Hotel.
That is sweet.
Roger, Whiskey 2, Whiskey Osher Hotel, Philippines 890. 101, straight ahead, hold the point.
Sun is just getting ready to rise.
And Alpha 1.
Wow. This is a free scenery. Yes, it is. I believe it's on the org form.
357 climb to flight level 120.
Climb to flight level 120, Cathay 357. Alright, so we got to climb and maintain, so we're just going to go open climb.
Sarah X-ray, Golf Victor Romeo, increase rate of descent 2,500 feet per minute or more. Increase descent rate, Sarah X-ray confirmed.
Look at all the lights down there. That is so cool.
Philippines 890, continue taxi holding point.
Hong Kong is so beautiful at night. Jeremy, I totally agree, man. It is. I would love to fly in here one day in real life. I mean, that would be... Even going to the, I mean, obviously the new airport, the one that's open now, but...
Negative. Holding
That would
point
be awesome.
07 right via hotel and Juliet.
Alright, let's do a little bit. We're already at acceleration altitude. APU lead can come off. We're going to leave the APU running. 250 knots, climbing to 12,000, so we no longer have to comply with the whiskey restriction out of below 7. Everything else is looking good. After takeoff checklist is complete. Flyby. Oh, wow.
Copy 101, behind outbound company is Airbus 320 Neo. Line of right, 113 behind.
Commander, I agree. He is very, very chill. Turn down the line a little bit.
Cathay 68, wind 0 degrees, 12 knots, 13, clear for takeoff, report airborne. 1 clear for takeoff, 44, Cathay 68.
He's very chill, very competent, definitely. Are we at 10,000? I think we are. Just about 9.9. We'll go ahead and kill the lights. Let the flight attendants know we're at a 10. We're accelerating to 340.
Cathay 357, climb to flight level 160.
Climb flight level 160, Cathay 357. 16 blue. For our climb out, 340 is a little bit hot.
Ready, Cathay, declare 18, approaching to 3 ready. Cathay A518, copied, line up rate, runway 07 right.
Robin, yes, if we could get hot shots,
Roger,
leap
midway,
sounds.
right side, trailer 3.
Wow, that guy is loud. If we could get hot shots, leap sounds,
Cathay 680,
it would be next level. I would be flying the leap way more here in X-Plane.
After 1,000 right now, Cathay 680.
That sounds like Sam taking off.
Cathay 68, identified, climb flight level 110 via set.
Jeremy, he's very professional.
110
Absolutely. He's handling quite a bit of traffic as well. I didn't realize we had that many guys joining us here. That's pretty sweet. So there's KLM 2622 Golf out there. 68 departed. I wonder. How do you get to like nearest airport view? Dang it. Is this what airport is this? Oh look, somebody just took off. That's that guy that took off. I don't know what airport I'm at. I'm lost. I think that's the guy that took off. Cathay 68. I don't know if the scenery is not loaded or not, but that's cool. I was trying to get all the way back to the Kai-Tak airport. All right, here we go. Let's pay attention. We're 320 on the speed, 12 climbing 16. Come back down here. Let's do a little check of the electrical page. Everything is holding. IDG2 looks good. And our fuel is looking good as well. APU avail is normal status is associated Gen 1 inop. Berto, I agree. It's not terrible.
Come in to take off, proceed our Yelato.
I mean, look at this sunrise Airbus cockpit here. This is
Cathay 357, climb to flight level 200.
climb flight level 200, Cathay 357. 200. Blue.
Flight level 140.
The reflections on the engines on point. I agree, Matt. This is cool. We're gonna watch the sunrise today.
X-ray Golf Victor
Ooh,
Roman,
yeah.
descent 5,000 feet, QNH 1021. Descent 5,000 feet, Sierra X-ray.
Where is this? Oh, I guess we never cleared it out. Be on the flight plan
Cathay
page over there.
101, wind 053 1 knots, runway 0, correction, runway 13, clear for takeoff, report airborne.
Oh, look at that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more coming off.
Cathay 8518, wind 053 1 knots, runway 07 right, clear for takeoff.
Oh, I like this
That's all right,
sound right here.
Cathay Car 18.
This would put me to sleep right here.
Cathay Pacific A321, line up right, runway 07 right behind. Line up right 07 right behind Cathay A321.
Up here, look, you got a lot of errors on the scenery. Make sure you have the correct libraries. I think it requires multiple different libraries. So make sure you have the proper libraries installed. Oh yeah, we're out of a good call there, Danielle. Is it standard? Oh yeah, it was like at 19 or 9,000. Excuse me. So we no longer need that chart. Let's just pull up our actual flight plan. Oops, excuse me, we'll get rid of that one. Here we go. Just in case we need it. We got our route of flight today out over the water. Looks like we got a nice little tailwind here for a little bit. It's going to turn into mostly a crosswind.
To Hong Kong Center, this is Cathay 197, ready to taxi.
Cathay
There's a wind profile.
7, taxi holding point from the 13 via taxi weight Delta 1.
How are we looking on
Bravo 1
remaining
and Alpha
fuel?
1.
So we've got 9.9. Oh yeah, we got loads of gas. Fuel predicts. Oh yeah, hour 40 extra.
Cathay 418, climb back.
Fly by.
2,300. Block, Cathay 101 first, please.
Beautiful.
Cathay 101, we're airborne passing 2,400, climb altitude 7,000. Cathay 101, thank you very much. Identified. Climb the ascent, flight level 110.
Juice view right here. I can't really hear me over the HC. Yeah, there's only one guy that's pretty loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more.
Passing 3,700 for 5,000. Cathay 418. Cathay speed 518, identified. Climb flight level 110.
Will you fly to the Southeast Asian countries? Yes.
Request high speed after right time. Approved.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Get up direct here, Cathay 418. A518, you're cleared, flight level 250. Flight 5210, Cathay 418.
That guy is loud, isn't
Cathay
he?
357, and proceed direct Yamato, climb flight level 350.
Proceed direct to Yolando, climb flight level 350 for Cathay 357. Yeah, Center for Cathay 357. We're a little heavy. Can we request flight level 330 as a final?
Right up, stop climb flight level 330.
Roger, we'll stop the climb flight level 330, Cathay 357. So we're not really heavy. It's because of our MEL of the generator in op that we're limited to 330. So we've got 330 blue, thrust climb, open climb,
Cathay 68, climb flight level
direct to
200.
Ilato. We are on our way.
200, Cathay 68.
Oh, I love it. Oh, they can see the 7.4 up there, barely.
X-ray golf.
Avio Man,
Yep.
what's up, man? Welcome. Glad to have you on board. Finally got some time to catch your stream. Avio Man, welcome, man. Hope you're well. Hope everything is good with you, sir. Hope you're getting ready to have a great weekend. Nice of you to stop by, man. Welcome. Jeremy says even in economy, Cathay would give all the kids backpacks with toys and coloring books. Still have mine somewhere. Jeremy, that's awesome, man. So we had a family friend. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna leave it right here on this view. Look at this. Actually, so one of my good friends in, was I in high school? Yeah, high school. His dad was a Cathay at the time. I think he was just he was a wide-body captain. I can't remember what airplane he was on. I know at one point he was on the 747-200, but he was always, he's actually, I think he's recently retired, but he used to be very, very, very senior at Cathay. Was a training captain, check airman, all the above. But I just remember whenever, you know, we'd hang out, and if he was home, he was actually based, I think he was based in Hong Kong, so he was not home hardly at all. But I remember when he did come home, it was pretty sweet. Everyone was excited, and that kind of got the, you know, the airline juices flowing for me as well, growing up, being around that, seeing that. But yeah, it's a very prestigious airline, Cathay Pacific is, for sure. John says, I missed the 90s. United Airlines had mainline service from New Haven, Connecticut to Chicago. Eating real food and being gifted to it. Yeah. Do you guys remember when you used to be able to tune into the headset? So on the armrest, they'd pass out headsets, and you could tune into the cockpit communications or like live ATC on the headsets. I used to love doing that as a kid.
Cathay 1907, Cathay ready?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I mean, the prestige, especially in U.S.-based carriers, is pretty much no longer there. You know, I think Cathay's still pretty good. My sister recently flew Cathay, well, I say recently, but a couple of years ago, before COVID anyway, flew a 350, I believe it was 350 Cathay, and she was in first class for work, and she sent me pictures. It was very, very nice. But I don't, you know, U.S.-based airlines, it's really not there anymore. You know, that whole prestige and class is kind of taking a hit, trying to get as many seats and fit as many people and do it as cheaply as possible. And there's still some good service out there. You know, I think Delta has the best. I think it's pretty much undoubtedly the best passenger product. But even then, it's nothing to what it used to be years ago. John Franco, that was Channel 9 on United? Absolutely, man. How far west are you thinking of going? Tom, let's look at the map here real quick. Actually, I want to see, is the sun coming up? Oh, it's just starting to peak up. Let's go ahead and let's post up here in the back of the cockpit. And we'll transition to Mach 7.9. We'll do an 8.0 climb out. We'll watch the sunrise from the jump seat view. How's that? Awesome. Let me pull up the.
X-Ray Golf Victor Romeo descent to Tower.
We'll pull up the map. Let's take a look. Where are we going next? So I'm definitely thinking we're going to return back to Kai-Tak. We have to do another IGS approach. Can't just do one. And then where are we going to go from there? We have to figure that out. So we can get this map to load in. There we go. All right, so there's Taiwan, right? So that's where we're going, up here. If we come back to Hong Kong, we're definitely going to hit up Vietnam. I want to go maybe Hanoi. We got to do some Vietnam flying. I want to do that. And then where's Paro? I mean, that's further west, right? I think we're gonna have to figure out where that is. I don't know where it is. See, I don't know where it is on the map. My geography skills over in this part of the world are very much lacking. But as far as south, this is still pretty much.
Say
pretty much, but it's very much the Pacific region. So Manila, Indonesia. I say we probably, the farthest west we probably go is down here, just what's west of, so Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Singapore. Probably Jakarta is probably about as far southwest as I want to go on this tour. So we'll make our way back. I'm sorry, who are you calling?
Cathay 197.
Oh, 197. Where is Paro? That's got to be up here.
Yes, Cathay 197, clear for takeoff on runway 13.
Correct, you're clear for
I should do Paro in the 73200. Oh yeah, Tom, we'll have to do it in the 73200, and then I also want to do it in the Airbus multi-crew. I want to try to get a multi-crew with Phantom. Bank angle check. Yeah, I don't. But yeah, that's probably what our tour is going to consist of. We'll come down, do some Vietnam, hit up Manila, Singapore, through here, and then make our way back. And we'll probably, I think we're gonna have to do the Concorde on the way back, because I don't think I want to fly another 12-hour live stream. We'll have to figure out where we'll depart.
Hong Kong.
Might have to work our way back up somewhere here. Actually, we could probably go.
Say again?
No, we don't want to go that way. That's a long way around. Straight over the polar region. We'll have to think about it. Beautiful sunrise coming up. Smooth ride. We'll go ahead and turn that seatbelt sign off and let them roll. Jeremy says, from what I hear, Cathay's trading is as good as any airlines in the U.S. Cathay, yes, Jeremy, it is 100%. I can tell you from my personal acquaintances, it is probably one of the highest standards out there. In fact, I remember looking back in, I'd say, 10 years ago, maybe not even 10 years ago, but it was very popular for U.S. pilots to want to. These guys are really busy. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. There was a big push for U.S. pilots to go fly in the Asian carriers, right? So Air China. There was another one. There's multiple. There's the blue airplane that would. ANA was hiring. What are they? What is it? Not Transpacs. What do they call it when you go to a different country or work? Transpat? No. One of you probably know. But there was a big push for that, and I remember reading interview stories about all these different airlines. And Cathay was, it was a several month process to get hired. So here's less than 1,000 feet. Looks like we're going to level off. If your application got through, then they'd fly you out, and you would do, like just a base interview or something for a couple days, and then you would have to fly back, and then they'd fly you out. If you passed that, a couple months later, you'd fly out, and then you would do a psych test, and you would do a full simulator check. And if all that passed, you were put in a pool of other pilots, and then you were hand selected. It was probably the hardest or the most comprehensive airline to get hired for, several years ago. I don't know what it is now. I'm pretty much settled where I am. I don't think I'm going to be doing any hopping from airline to airline anymore. But that Cathay, I do remember I remember reading interview stories about that and just thinking, wow, that is a serious dedication to get on with this airline. Expat, thank you. Expat, yes, there was a big push for expat pilots. So everybody was going to fly for ANA, China Airlines, China Airlines, and then there was a few others. There were some local carriers. I know they were at one point, I was typed on the Embraer, right? So I was actually getting emails from domestic carriers in China looking for 190 drivers to come fly for like 20 grand a month, but you had to live there. It was a 6 month on, 2 month off, etc. And I never made the jump, but I know some guys who did, and I mean the money is great, but there was a whole different experience for them flying out there. But yeah, still, I'll never forget reading that whole Cathay interview process. Oh wow, look at the sun coming up here over the engines. Ooh, let's move this seat back just a little bit, like right about here. Maybe we should just do from the... Oh yeah, that is some straight juice right there. Paro's further west. It's north of Bangladesh, just east of India. Okay, so it is pretty far west. The AP is running because we have a gen out. Master warning, you were in that group? Oh man. Northwest had a 727 fleet out of NRT back in the 90s. Nice. You were saying, Master warning, I thought I read your comment here. You recently retired? I believe that was you. I'm going to scroll back here. Northwest Airlines Delta just retired with 41 years. Master warning, well, congratulations. Enjoy retirement, sir. That's fantastic. Welcome aboard, by the way. Yeah, multi-crew will be fun in Apparel. How about some bush flying around Indonesia? We definitely can do that. I was going to do this flight on Microsoft Flight Sim, but I have to get the update. I mean, that's one thing that's killing me, the friggin' updates with Microsoft Flight Sim. I still haven't updated it yet, so we'll probably do multiple flights in Microsoft Flight Sim coming up, just because it has all the scenery for us. Don't have to worry about orthos and all that. It's pretty good stock. But I'd like to pull up the King Air around Indonesia, James. That'd be fun. John Franco, I'm scrolling back in the chat now. I went off on a tangent there trying to think about the Cathay and the expats. But John Franco says, my last airline food experience was in June. Stop in Ireland from Poland going to Fort Hood. They fed us twice in the 9-hour flight. Good old military. Omni Air International. So that's funny. I just did some recurrent sim training, and apparently we were in an overflow building, and it apparently is a huge Omni Air training facility as well. So there was a big classroom for Omni, and they had all their stuff there, and a bunch of 7.6 sims and all that. That's cool. Why does the LEAP 1A have the tumor compared to... I'm imagining it has to do with the gearbox location. So that bump, it's the gearbox bump. So, you know, if you look at the CFMs on a 737, you know how they're squashed? They're not perfectly round. Like if you look at the IAE engine or even a CFM engine on an Airbus, they're almost perfectly round. That's for the gearbox. The clearance isn't high enough, so they had to put it out laterally on the engine, and that's where you get that bump from. So it's probably just a different gearbox location. You flew in and out of the airport many times in a generic 7.4 and the new one on the 744. Awesome, man. Chris, yes, I heard about that. Getting OAT over 200 degrees. Oh, man. Hong Kong is not willing. Hong Kong government is not willing to hire many expat pilots nowadays. I would imagine many local pilots are out of work, and read recently that expat permits are not renewed, so they're losing their jobs. That makes sense, you know. And this was years ago that I'm referring to, but yeah, I would imagine now it's a much different environment than it was back then. But that was the thing. It was. If you had your time and a type rating and maybe you were working at a regional carrier, and the majors here in the U.S. were not hiring. It was very competitive. If anybody got hired, it was, you know, maybe a dozen guys in a year got picked up by a legacy carrier out of your regional. So it was very stagnant for a long time. And that was where that push came for being an expat. And I flew recently. I talked about it on stream not too long ago. I had an FO just recently who was an expat in China flying the A350s. He was the FO on the very first A350 landing in the U.S. on, I think it was in LAX. So he had some great stories about the 350, and I learned a lot about that airplane just talking to him. I was picking his brain the whole trip about the 350. But what an incredible airplane it is. And he had a good experience. I mean, he said they took care of him pretty well over there. You know, they pay for your housing, and they expect you to live out there. So They do take pretty good care, at least they did. But that's another reason why he's back in the States now. I think that all started to fall apart here with COVID and all the changes that have happened recently. Is it possible to step climb optimal points along your route or more or less automatic way? So the Airbus will never automatically step climb. I shouldn't say never. As far as it's programmed now,
57, leaving without space. No further to see available. Maintain the comp 122 down 18. And hope to see you again in Hong Kong very soon. Goodbye.
all right, over to Unicom 122.8. Thanks for the ATC. You have a wonderful weekend. Cat Day 357.
You too.
All right, over to Unicom. Thanks for the ATC, sir. What was I saying there? Yeah, so it will never automatically step climb for you, at least the way that the Airbus is programmed now. It's just a reminder that you need to step up. So, and is there even steps allowed? I can't remember if it's modeled or not. Let's try re-knot, step out. Okay, so yeah, so if you wanted to do re-knot here, let's do, we're at 340, we're about 350 at re-knot. There we go. So I've got a step climb program now. You see that? Re-knot up to 350. Now we can't do that because of our limitation with our APU that we're running right now. We're limited to 33,000 feet because we have to run that for redundancy as a generator. But what would happen is as you get closer to re-knot, it'll say step ahead, and then that'll, you can notify ATC if they don't remember, or if they don't see it on your flight plan, that you can step up. But it will never automatically just start climbing. Even if I were to set 350 here, the Airbus doesn't do any automatic climbing or descending for you. Now, if you want to delete it, pretty simply just come up here and delete the step climb and you're back to normal. So it's more so of a reminder tool. And to be honest with you, what I do sometimes is if I'm doing a longer flight, say it's a transcon, maybe we're flying LA to, I probably wouldn't do it. Well, yeah, let's say you're just going LA to Miami, right? And you're going westbound with the winds. I'm sorry, you're going eastbound with a tailwind. You're probably going to have a step climb in there, depending what your load is, but you're probably going to be weight restricted before you can even get to that altitude anyway. So what I'll do is I'll just put the box. I won't put the step climb in the box because I want the worst possible fuel burn prediction here, right? I want the more conservative output. If I were to put in a step climb, or maybe you can even do this with the perf tailwind page here when you put in your winds. But if I would rather have this be more conservative, that way when I get to the step climb, at least I know on my flight plan, okay, I'm supposed to step up here, then I'll go into my secondary, so I'll copy the active, and then I could, change the altitude in the secondary flight plan. So I'll come here, let's go perf, and actually, I don't think it is, if I do secondary, I should be able to init the secondary. I don't think you can do it here. Yeah, I can't do it here. So in the real airplane, I would come here, I'd go secondary, and I would go to the init page, and I would change the cruise altitude in the secondary, and then I could see what my fuel burn would be if the step climb, see how much we save, and then, okay, I'll probably go ahead and do it. But, sometimes I put them in, sometimes I don't. It's more, like I said, very much a reminder in the Airbus, more so than a mandatory thing. Now, if you have a super long flight where you have to step up to save fuel to have enough fuel to get to your destination, that's a different ball game. But again, in the Airbus, that's all very much a reminder. Somebody also was wondering about the overfly point. So the overfly button here is if you were to program the box. So you could see here we're going over Dayton, but we're not going directly over the top of Dayton. The Airbus is computing what's called a smart turn. So it's taking our wind, we got a 67 knot tailwind, and you see how we're going to fly right past this waypoint. If I were to change Dayton to a fly over waypoint or an overfly, if I press overfly and put it on Dayton, I don't think it'll work now because we're already there, the track would actually have the aircraft go over the waypoint and then start the turn. So that can be very important when you start flying approaches in the mountains or at departure procedures that have a lot of terrain or maybe airspace constraints around them, where there are overfly waypoints, and you have to verify that they did get pulled up correctly in the box in your FMS, that they are indeed shown as overfly waypoints. I want to say Denver has a departure I did recently where I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of an interesting turn. And sure enough, I looked on the departure chart and it was an overfly waypoint, and you could see that. But this is most common. I'd say 90%, 95% of the flying that you do, you'll see this smart turn here where you don't actually fly directly over the top of the waypoint. You just kind of fly by it. But you can force overfly with that button there. Very, very important when you really start getting into, let's say, RNP, and you're doing like low terrain, or low, what's the word? There's a phrase for it, but when you're flying in high terrain and you have low clearance around you, you want to make sure that it is indeed, the overfly waypoints are indeed overfly waypoints. I'm pretty sure Lowy has some as well. I remember looking at those charts and we flew in there. But that's what the overfly push button does. I wonder if I can do it to Tonga. I hate experimenting with the box. There we go. So I'm going to zoom it in. So if I look now, there we go. There you go. So all I did is hit overfly, put it on Tonga. You could see the triangle here. And now look at, this is the solid line is what we had planned. If I do overfly, it will go right over the intersection and then start the turn. So you can see, and then it kind of hunts back to course. That's kind of normal. But I don't want that, so I'm going to just go ahead and erase that. But that's what that overfly waypoint is. Good question, whoever brought that up earlier. It's a key that I don't think I've ever talked about on stream, but that's indeed what it is for. So got that. So in an RNP approach, it's a plane fly over waypoints. Simon, it will depend 100% on the chart. So some charts will have it. Just because it's an RNP, a low tolerance approach, they may not be. It is 100% going to be specified on the chart if it is a overfly waypoint. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on an approach. It could be on an airway. It could be ATC could give you a waypoint and say, I need you to overfly this waypoint and then proceed. You could do it that way. But from what I have seen in real life experience, has mostly been on an approach or even a departure procedure. All right. I wanted to show you guys something pretty cool here. I downloaded it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Can I go? This might mess up some stuff here. Display. Why wouldn't it show you guys that? No. Hold on, I want to pull up. There we go. Let me add a source here. Hold on, I'm trying to share my screen with y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me do a screen capture. All right, there we go. Whoa, that's excessive. All right, so I just flew into the sim, and then I walked over and I saw this bad boy. So check this out. This is a modern Airbus A320 simulator right here. Look at the size of that. Look how clean it is. You just have floor mounts, a nice ventilation air hose just like you would in a real airplane, but that actually does provide air, keeps nice and cool in there. Look at the size of this A320 sim. Does anybody know what sim this is? Can anybody tell what sim that is? I'll give you guys a second. I took some pictures in it as well. I was it was pretty exciting to see that little Airbus, little flying nerd out pilot decided, hey, look at that sim. I want to go take pictures of it. We'll go ahead and I'll scroll through a few more. Okay, so that's the 320. There's this sim. I think they're out of order. Here's a cockpit shot. Anybody recognize this airplane? Let me zoom it in for y'all. other one. Look at this. Most of you youngins probably don't even know what this is. But believe it or not, this is still fully functional, 100% functional. A lunar lander. Fully functional. The lighting still works. I was talking to the gentleman working on it in the red there. I was talking to him about it. Not an A310. Yes, tick. DC-10 indeed. It is a DC-10. Check out this flight engineer panel, guys. And I mean, you walked in there and it smelled like an older airplane. If any of you have ever been maybe at a museum and you've walked in the cockpit of a 7.2 or basically any aircraft before glass cockpits were implemented. So, you know, even before the old Airbus CRT screens came out. So basically the last generation of round dial only aircraft, they all have a certain smell. They all smell very similar, but it is legit. I mean, you feel like you're in the airplane. It smells just like that. It's hard. I don't know how I would describe the smell, but they all smell the same, and it's all these old round gauge. It just smells like oil and rust and sweat on all the switches and knobs. All the lights work. Oop, we'll get to those in a second. But yeah, this is indeed a KC-10, and there's the 320 sim. Now, what's interesting too is it's probably hard to tell here. This is a tanker 10, so it's also used for the Air National Guard. They can simulate air-to-air refueling. You can see here McDonnell Douglas DC-10, and it's hard to tell right here, but this actually says the world on time. So this sim was owned by FedEx. Now, I don't believe it's still owned by FedEx anymore. I think they still, I don't even know if they use it. I didn't ask them that, but at some point I imagine it was owned by FedEx. But yeah, now it's also used by the Air National Guard. DC-10. Cigarette smell, that's definitely in there, Captain Hyatt. It's definitely in there, but it's a combination of cigarette, sweat, smoke, metallic, just a metallic smell from the switches and the panels. But I was totally geeking out over this. I walked in there, sat down. But yeah, so here's our 320, modern day 320. And the 320 is way smaller than the DC-10, but look at all just the junk down there. All right, so that's fun with that. Old school computer. This is how you actually run the sim, and it still works. And then we got into some fun stuff here. This is unusual attitudes. Now, we weren't actually, on my recurrent, you don't do the recurrent, you don't do this on my last recurrent. It was just we were in a brand new sim, literally brand new simulator, and it had some new visuals, and they wanted to test out the new unusual attitude scenarios. So we were just having fun with them. These are legit recover from this scenario right now. So, you know, push, roll left, and don't over G the airplane. But these are some screenshots I took of the actual unusual attitudes in the sim. Now you can see you guys were asking about the graphics. I got to be honest with you. This new sim, it was a brand new one, the graphics are pretty darn good. I mean, there's no, if you can't tell, there's no real 3D objects on the ground, but it almost does look like a, I don't know, some zoom level of ortho. And when I did my loft, we did it on the stream here, went into Burbank, and the scenery going into Burbank was very, very nice. I mean, it looked, honestly, guys, it looked, it wasn't Orbix level, but it was really nice. But then you compare it to this, and you can't tell, but the old visual on this thing here, you just had a few little lights out there on the runway, and that was it. That's all the visuals you got in this sim. It's all basically all instruments. So I thought that was cool. Get rid of that. We'll hide that. We're probably getting close to having to do something here. Yeah, we are. We are 178 miles. We do have to get ready to start going down. But I thought that was cool to see that. I'll go back to managed speed here. Let's do a flyby. Look at those juicy clouds down there, huh? All right, let me pull up some charts here while we look at the beautiful Carda engine mod. Yeah, fully functional, Andrea. Fully functional. Scott, you run a DC-10 from Dallas to Hawaii in 96, a shiny American Airlines, a luxury liner. Beautiful, Scott. I was on one of my most memorable trips as a kid was an L-1011, an L-10 from, we went to Hawaii, and I want to say we left NorCal. But that wouldn't have been, it was on ATA? It was on ATA and L-1011. So I wish we had I hope FlyJSim maybe one day will pick up the L-1011 project and do that. That would be really nice to have a real high quality L-1011. All those tri-jets I have a soft spot for. L-10, 727, DC-10, MD-11, I still definitely have a soft spot for it, but it's probably my least of soft spots because you don't have a flight engineer and it's glass. But it's still a really cool airplane. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it be released here too whenever Rotate does decide to release it. But look at this, A380 taxi instructions. I didn't see that till just now. Jeremy says, I wonder if new sims are powered by professional version of X-Plane because the pro version of X-Plane can be used in full sims. Jeremy, I don't know what the actual flight software is. I can tell you that when we used X-Plane as instructors when I was teaching people to fly 172s and stuff, we had a very early version of X-Plane. I don't even remember what number it was, but it was an X-Plane professional version. That's what we did sim time on. But as far as our level D sims now, I don't know who actually runs it, or what the software is. All right, arrival. We're on the Tonga, a 1 Alpha, and then we're landing ILS 5 left. So, looking at the Tonga approach here, we're over Tonga. There is no descent altitudes on it really, but we're transitioning over. We're going to transition to jamming. Let's go ahead and connect this box here. How's this look? So we'll go plan mode. Zoom this out. What are we dealing with here? L per Bravo. Okay, so we're going over jammy. Jammy about 4,000 feet. That should be good. I'm going to do this for vertical profile planning here. We're going to make this a hard altitude of 4,000. Insert that. And top of descent. Still a little ways out, but that's perfect. Let's go ahead and get our perf data set. For our descent speed, we're going to do 7.9 and 320 knots. Next phase is going to be approach. So, don't they use P3D or something with the FS Labs Airbus? No, they don't use the FS Labs. I imagine it's ProSim or something like that. The serpentine air duct on the L10 looks so graceful. I agree, Chris. I wish we had an L10. I wish we had an L1011. I almost just wish that on the 727, I love flying it, and maybe we'll do a 727 in a Kitech. But I think after flying the Q400 and some of these newer airplanes that are out, I think unfortunately the cockpit is showing a little bit of its age. The panel looks a little too flat to me, especially the ADI. I would almost take maybe a version 3 update for the FlyJSim to bring the instruments up to a more, I don't know, even a higher standard than they already are. There's really nothing wrong with it, but after flying the Q400, it is probably one of the most beautiful airplanes we have in X-Plane right now. It's hard to compete with anything else that we have. All right, expected conditions now. No significant weather. 3022 on the meter, which is 1023. So we'll just put it in this format here. 1023 on the QNH. Temperature of a 1.4. Magnetic wind direction is 999. Oh no, 080 at 10. 080 at 10 knots. Slight head crosswind there. Coming down the ILS, what do we have here? Straight in, 5 left, multiple cat C, 289 in the barrow. That is set. This is cool too, so landing configuration, full config 3 in this format. This is true to the FMS2, so that last recurrent I did yesterday really was my first dive into a full-blown FMS2 sim, and I'm noticing things now on the Toliss where I thought might have looked weird, but are indeed correct for FMS2. So having this landing configuration like this, baro radio here, I like seeing that. That's also correct. There was a couple other things, having the temperature ground temp here on the init page. That's an FMS2 thing, and we're going to set 4,000 up here. And let's just go ahead and I want to see if it says TOD reached, because that's another FMS2 thing here. So we should get a TOD reach when we hit our top of descent. Jeremy says, I heard the L10 has a tremendous amount of power and it was a beast of an airplane. Oh yeah, it definitely was a beast of an airplane, man. I got multiple pictures and cockpits of L10, the different L1011s out there. The only reason the L1011 isn't my favorite over the 727 is because of when I saw that 727 do a power back. But other than that, they're very close. There we go, TD reached. That's FMS2, beautiful. We'll manage it up. Now there is a latching function of FMS2, which I don't think is shown yet on the Toliss, but when it latches the vertical profile, we should get a little magenta bracket around this green dot, and I'm going to see if we can't catch it or not. So I'm going to go a little spoid break here. Let's see if we catch up to it. We'll see if it latches. See if we have a true VNAV modeled yet. And now I'm really going into the nitpicking phase here, just because I'm fresh off that FMS2 sim. I want to see how much is actually simulated here. Sim Captain, me too, man. Sadly, I still remember the smoking section on planes. My parents used that when we flew internationally in the 90s. Yeah, you're now free to smoke about the cabin. Thoughts on the new CRJ for X-Plane? If any of you ever heard my live podcast with XP on the Blue Experience or Blue Games, you know my thoughts on the CRJ. I haven't actually tried it yet. Just a personal preference. No shade to CRJ or any dev, but I have my personal preference. I'm not super interested in flying a CRJ. Just a personal thing. Like, so I'm not. If I'm going to spend any money on an airplane, the next airplane I spend money on is probably going to be the 146, the BAE. I almost bought it when it was on sale, but I held off. But I want it. Probably 40% the reason I want that BAE 146 is because I love the round gauge cockpit, and that ADI looks very, very round, like real, looks real, you know, it looks like it's real 3D and it's moving around in there, as opposed to the Fly J, the 7.2, where that whole ADI looks a little bit more flat. So I think it'd be fun to fly the Avro around round gauge cockpit, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. All right, here we go. LS push buttons are armed. 4,000 is set. We're going to do manual brakes, full flaps. I almost wanted to do an FOS approach. Should we change this and see if we can do an FLS RNAV? Let's see. What do we got here? Arrival. What do we got for 5 left? RNP 5 left. La la la. Will it change? Let's just see. I'm kind of tired of doing ILSs, to be honest with you. RNAV 5 left. Insert. Now we got to do our perf next phase. FLS or final app. So this is traditional. Let's do FLS. Let's see. I just want to see if. I just want to see it, to be honest with you. All right, so we're going to set up for an FLS approach. So scratch all that. No, but this isn't really. LNAV, VNAV, minimum's 550. We might be getting ourselves into trouble here, but let's just try it. What the heck? Config full 550 in the barrel. We're going to set up for the RNAV 05 left off of the jammy transition. That's going to make me lose my constraint at 4,000, I think, right? Yes, it got rid of it, just like the real airplane. Cool. Good to see that. Altitude constraint. We've got to reinsert that. Now we're going to be a little. Oh, we're still on profile. Thrust idle on profile. I think we're all set up now. Jammy at 4,000. It's visual backed up with the RNAV FLS. Let's enjoy some of this Taiwan scenery as we come down the coastline here. Beautiful. XP72, what's going on, man? Good to see you, dude. XP, I caught the tail end of your 787 landing in St. Louis today. It's a long stream, dude. You were streaming early this morning. Glad it went well. Happy to have you on board. Yes, if you guys want to know any of my opinions on CRJs in general, the Blue Experience podcast had the honor of being a guest on there. Well, what was it, a couple of months ago now? I think it was one of the first shows that y'all did. I had a lot of fun. We talked about CRJs, so it's no, like I said, I really, no shade to any developer or, the airplane or anybody that flies them, really. My personal thing is I really don't have an interest in flying the CRJ. If I wanted to fly a small, light jet, I'd want to get in the Phenom 300 or maybe even the, it's not a light jet, but the King Air 350. So the FLS system it can turn basically any RNAV approach into a localizer glide slope type approach. It's an FMS computed approach. So you'll have F-loc and F-slope. I don't know why we're having a scenery loading in issue there. What's going on with my frames? Let's go ahead and get it together here, X-Plane. Must be loading something in. Struggling. There we go. I was the first guest. Honored. Thank you, XP. Yeah, I was the first guest on the Blue Experience. I got to catch up on the last one. They just talked to Fly-by-Wire last night, so I got to catch up on that one. All right, what did I say the barrel was? It was a 1023. Set 1, 2, and 3. All right, looks like we're all loaded in now. I don't know what that was all about. Beautiful. We're still missing a professional E170-190. Jeremy, yes. And you know what's funny is today I literally am looking at them right now. I pulled out my old flight kits. I had one flight kit in the cleaning some stuff out of the house, and I'm bringing it to the office, all like my old flying stuff. So I have my flight kit from flying cargo. So I have all my cargo and actually my corporate jet stuff. I have citation manuals in there and some other good things. And I have my complete regional flight kit. It still has an old luggage tag on it, or the tags that they put on it when they check your bag to the destination. And it has I guess it was the last commute that I had my old flight kit. It still weighs about 80 pounds, and I haven't even opened it yet, but I'm pretty sure I've got all my Embraer manuals in there. I'm sure I have a couple of different Jeppesen binders in there, so I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll film it. I'll do a old school flight kit unboxing. I haven't opened it in years. I don't even remember the last time. I honestly could not tell you the last time I opened that flight kit. There might even be a headset in there. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do a flight kit unboxing. But yeah, I've got it sitting right next to me, and it has DFW. I was commuting into DFW on flight 2316, and I believe that was an MD-80 years and years ago. But yeah, when we get this E-Jet Series 2 or version 2, I can't wait for them. I would love to start flying those in the sim. How far is the office from the house? It's about 20 minutes, almost exactly. If I leave my house. We're up on a hill area, so it takes like, I don't know, probably 15 minutes. Again, it's probably about 25 minutes, really. It's not necessarily far, it's just kind of a slow drive. X-Craft working on them? Yes, they are. Yeah, I watched that podcast with Blue Games and Blue Experience. They interviewed the gentleman responsible for the version 2 or the next gen of the Embraer series. And I was very pumped when I was looking at the screenshots, the before and after, and everything that they're working on with that airplane. That's going to be exciting. I wonder how heavy my great uncle's flight bag was. Retired 707 captain on an AA at American in the 70s, JFK based. I bet you it was between 60 and 80 pounds, Franco. I guarantee it. Between 60 and 80 pounds, that was pretty much the going number. Because you had to carry, you had to carry probably 40 pounds of just airway manuals. Okay, and then you had, depending on who you work for, I assume, you had to carry your SOP, which was all paper. You had to carry your FOM, or your flight ops manual, which is all your company regulations, not really airplane related, but just like, what is the uniform and what do you wear on the uniform, all that stuff. And then you have to carry all of your, or at least we carried a QRC, quick reference card, or a quick QRM, quick reference manual, which is a big thick manual of all multiple emergencies, stuff that you would fly. So yeah, your flight bag was on average between 60 and 80 pounds. All right, we're gonna come back to 250 knots. Now I believe for this to work, this is kind of a bad approach to try an FLS on, because I don't even think it's not even on that VNAV, or it doesn't have a VNAV, but we'll give it a shot. What the heck? We'll set 1600 for bagel, and then we'll manage it up. That's what we're going to do. We were messing with this in the sim yesterday. We need a little spoid brake action here to slow down. Let's crack the spoid brakes. "20 minutes from the donuts?" That's not bad at all. Miss Jungles, no. But actually, there's a donut shop literally across the street. I could walk to it in less than 3 minutes. I literally just walk out in the parking lot, and there's a donut shop on the other side. I've only been there once, though. I gotta be proud of myself. I've only been there once. It was when we did our 747 long haul to Honolulu. You must also set the alt in the window for the module step clamp to function. Also set the altitude in the window. Oh. So I got it set, so 1600, right? Or what is it, 1400? What was our final altitude down there? So we were messing with this in the sim, so I'm gonna set 1400. But what was happening was, I think it was just a combination of a bad procedure. We were doing the RNAV visual at Burbank, and in order for it to capture the F glide slope, you couldn't have the final altitude set because it would go into altitude star mode, and then you'd be high. So I'm going to set 1400. We got 4000 magenta. We're in descent nav. There's our FLS. There's the FLS loc and slope. Now I believe this should say FLS. There it is. Actually, look at that. So this is cool. This magenta line, here is your FMS localizer, quote unquote, your lateral track that you want to be tracking. And the FMS slope, which is this magenta diamond here, which we would normally follow on an ILS, is in response to the vertical profile on the localizer. So as we fly away, this is probably going to stay pegged, and as we fly back to it, it should capture. So I'm going to leave it managed for now. We'll see what happens here. It should be 180 at TPO. We may end up totally botching this approach and having to go around, but we'll see. We're at a 10,000. Let's go ahead and light it up. We don't have any ATC online, so let's just go ahead and turn them all on. But so far, this is correct. Now, I'm unsure. I want to say it's supposed to say F loc and F slope here as well. I could be wrong. The whole FMS2 thing is still very new to me. We're transitioning still as an airline into it. Oh, and the McDo. You must also set the altitude in the McDo. Okay. How heavy is the flight bag nowadays? Dreamlist, it's about 2 pounds. I got my iPad. I would probably carry a water bottle. I carry a water bottle in there. I carry mic muffs because I don't take my own headsets anymore. So we have all those Telix. I think they're like Telix 750s, 850s in the airplane, and I just put my own mic muff on it, so I'm not, sucking on someone else's microphone. And let's see, what else do I have in my flight bag? I got my iPad. I got a personal. So I got my company iPad. I got a personal iPad. My laptop, water bottle, mic muffs, chargers, sunglasses, a Tide pen in case you stain your shirt. Get a peppermint mocha on your shirt. You gotta clean it off. Oh yeah, we need a flyby, Robert S. You got it. I can crank up some sounds again here. But yeah, have some Advil in there, airborne. That's about it. It probably weighs, I said 2 pounds. It's probably about, I don't know, 5 pounds. Modern day flight bag. I know you weren't enthusiastic about the 777, but do you feel the same way about the 330? What do you mean, like not very much enthusiastic about the 330? Yeah, I guess I'm not. The 330 to me is just another wide body airplane, 2 engines. You know, I'll take a 340 over a 330 any day. It's same fuselage essentially, 4 engines, burn a lot more gas. I'd probably take a 330 over a 777 though. Jungle says, I can't wait to visit Texas and be within walking distance of donuts and hopefully decent coffee. Oh, there's definitely decent coffee there. Autopilot won't climb unless you have a pre-selected altitude in the window, no matter what you program in the McDo. Okay, I gotcha. Autopilot won't climb, okay. Alright, so let's just go ahead and arm it up. Let's say we're cleared for the RNAV 5 off of Jammy. There we go. That's it. So F glide slope, F loc. Is there traffic 1,800 feet below me? Are we right on top of somebody? I probably should be making radio calls. Yeah, we're on 22.8. Where are we landing here? What is this airport called? Taipei. Taipei traffic. What is my call sign? Taipei traffic, Cathay 357. We're over Jammy intersection, 4,000 feet, 250 knots. We're setting up for the RNAV 05 left for Taipei. How do you say Taoyuan? Jeremy, how do I pronounce this? Alright, there's speed. Now we have a decel point. I'm going to just manage the whole thing all the way through. We're going to see if it actually hits this. We'll start decelling down here. I think there's traffic right behind us. Oh yeah, sorry dude. Did I cut you off? Who is that?
Subscriber.
Philippine Airlines?
Up.
Oh boy. Thanks for the new subscribe there. Appreciate it. Robert S., don't forget to smash the like button. That's not the correct scenery night for RCTP. Sorry, man. I got to update it.
Traffic.
Uh-oh. TCAS, I have control. If we get anything funky, we'll just comply with it. He's descending down onto us.
Traffic.
Taoyuan.
Traffic.
Taoyuan. Alright, so alt magenta, F glide slope, F loc. You can see our F glide slope is moving. Now she's probably gonna have a hard time going all the way back to, well, we'll see. We'll see. We're still doing 250 here. We're coming in at a pretty good clip. Taipei. Okay, Jeremy, thank you. Taipei. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go speed brake right now. See if we can start coming down. It's supposed to be 180 at that fix. I don't know if that's going to happen. A little bit of an aggressive programming there. There's VFE next myself, flaps 1. F Loke.
05 left.
Taipei traffic, Cathay 357, just over Tango Papa 051 for the RNAV 5 left, Taipei. Alright, F-Loke is captured, we're at 3,000. Let's go gear down, because I don't think we're going to catch up to this. Gear's coming down. VFE next, flaps 3. So I think we can go ahead and stow the spoid brake. We're catching up to it now. We're going to stay at flaps 3 because we got a 160 knot restriction there at Bagel.
2,500.
Oh, look at that. We captured it at speed. F glide slope.
Miles out, 05 left. I do have the traffic in front of me. But
Okay, he's got traffic front of me. Cool. Flyby. I guess we got replay, so I don't need to worry about all that. That's pretty loud.
the traffic and to the traffic against the
It's one on the org store, JT Motorsports, at like Taiwan models, I think. Sam, that was you? No worries, man. Taipei traffic, Cathay 357, we're on about a
2,000.
6 mile final now for 5 left, Taipei. We're going to arm the speed brakes, notify the flight attendants. Taipei. Okay. We guess we can go ahead and set our go-around altitude, which is going to be climb out there and hold. There's really no, so okay. 4,000 feet. Set. There's our 160. Let's go flaps full. Oh, never turned the seatbelt sign on. That's right, standing room only, so no one took the seatbelts off. Look at that, we flew that FL, that was cool. So, just like the real airplane, I'm impressed. I haven't done an FLS approach yet in the 321, I don't believe. Alright, let's, should we hand fly it? Yeah, why not? Autopilot's coming off.
1,000.
Stable, flight director's off. Give me the bird. Beautiful. Looks like we're coming in a tad off center, but no auto brake necessary. We've got a long runway.
Above.
500.
Minimum.
Landing.
400.
There's the PLI dropping down.
300.
Traffic drive 2.890 with a 3 mile final, ILS 05 west. Got the flat bike.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10,
5.
Spoilers. This is not a hard landing. What are you talking about? A reverse screen. I don't know what that plug-in is smoking, but it was not a 334. Alright, we missed that one. Let's go to the next one here. Manual brakes, 70 knots. Start the chrono. 10 feet from center line. I felt off center on that one. 47 feet above. Not bad. 3 feet from our ideal one. Ooh, looks like we have a runway marker sign we're going to taxi over. Let's go ahead and clear the active, see if anybody's landing right behind. There is someone on short final. We'll come here and stop. We'll see if we can check out his landing. Ooh, there's that KLM 74 that flew with us. Oh yeah. Beautiful. That looked like a butter. Alright, let's clean it up, figure out where we're going. Kill the lights here. Our APU's already running. Don't have to worry about that. Clear that off. No full motion simulator. Alright, where are we going? Jeremy, where do we park this bad boy? I think we'll go over here. We'll make the right turn here. Taxi over here by the 7-4. Really nice airport here. Other than that taxiway sign being there on the turnoff. I love the ground textures. These ground textures are looking awesome. And even though it has volumetric grass, it doesn't seem to hurt the frames too bad. I'm still doing 40 FPS here. The plugin's always off. You should uninstall it. I really only use it for my crossing height and center line. That's really, I mean, I really could care less what the landing rate is. But I know y'all like to see them. Maybe I should go back. If I could, I thought I saw somebody streaming the one that everyone uses with that pops up on touchdown. I thought I saw somebody had it modified where it like was up in the corner. If I could do that, I might put that one back on. I just hate having that thing pop up right in my face on touchdown. But I'm pretty sure you can move it around, which would be cool. If I could move it off to the left or something, I might try that one again. But I just like having my distance from touchdown and all that. Ooh, let's go right over here to Alpha 5. Go ahead and kill that. Alpha 5, got the lat long coordinates there, beautiful. Yeah, it's a really old one, Gina. It's really old. Oh, no marshallers? Got a cheat mode marshal. Right on the center line. Oh, there he is. Nice. Alright, I like this. I'll follow your instructions, even though I feel like I'm slightly right of the center line. I like that he's on a stairway. That's cool. Brake set. APU is on. Engine 2. Seatbelt sign. Engine 1.
And Taipei traffic, Cathay 121, 10 miles out from 5 left.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Taipei. Taipei. Ooh, we got a couple of people landing here. We'll check out those landings. 5% N1, kill the beacon. APU bleed on. Why aren't you connecting? There we go. I think it's coming. Cool. Let's check out a couple of these landings and we'll get in a replay. He's way out there still. But check out the scenery. This is pretty nice. This is not bad at all. There's Sam in the 319. Love it. This is a pretty nice scenery here. Multiple towers. Can we get in the tower here? The ground paint looks real in the marks. I agree, man. That's the first thing I noticed was the textures on the ground. All right, he's way out there. Let's see. We'll park it over here on 5 right just for a second. What type of airplane is it? Another Airbus coming in. Not quite sure what livery that is. Ooh, big boy coming in, 340. We're going to have to watch him touch down too. How far out is he? Just joined the ILS. See how they do. Fubar says, good news, V1 company says they're creating a HUD so you can get that landing calculator on the real aircraft. Ah, Fubar, you keep reminding me. I have to figure out what it is, how to pull it up in the real airplane. There's a way to pull it up in the real airplane. I got to start pulling them up so I can see what is generally hard and what is not, as opposed to G-loading from the real aircraft, what it records, because the real airplane does pull it up. So, and it can actually pull up where the, where you touch down and all that stuff too, but that we can't access that data. That's all a different system. But 2 airplanes on file. That's pretty cool. The scenery, if you guys want it, let me pull it up real quick here. I'll get you a link. I'll show you exactly which one I'm using. It's this one right here. So there you go. Here's the link for the scenery. All right, you get it. Let's see. How's he going to do? No pressure. I wish we had sound. That's one thing Microsoft Flight Sim is pretty sweet. It's got the sound of the airplanes out there. Nice. Good centerline action there. Great centerline action. Better than mine. Where's this 340 at? Well, that's just 340. Let's see. He's probably going to put it down right here. We'll see how this looks, then we'll get out of here. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll put you guys in a replay mode. What's the app? Map app? I'm not using any map app. The map that I was using, this is the Aviator tablet. This is Avitab. He just looks slow from here. His AOA looks pretty aggressive. We might have to do 340. Actually, I'm going to put a poll in real quick here. Oh, right on the camera. 10 for 10. Whoever was landing that airplane. Right on the center line, too. 10 for 10 on that one, man. Awesome. Awesome landing. All right, there's our beautiful 321 Cathay Pacific. Let's take a look at our replay here. See how we did. Disconnected from VATSIM. Who's flying? Are you in chat? Whoever was flying that approach? Fubar says, great, thanks for the stream. Have a good one. Take it easy, Fubar. Hope you have a good weekend, my friend. Jeremy, absolutely. You are welcome, sir. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the channel. I really appreciate it, sir. You have a great rest of your night and a good weekend as well. Berto360, take care, bud. Have a good one. All right, let's see how we did here. Watch a couple of these, and then we are going to wrap it up. Nice trees. I like the scenery. I really do. Oh, that's just the map, Zero. That's just the M key. Oh, yeah. Beautiful touchdown. no way that was a 334. Yeah, I don't think so. We'll see here. This will be the truth. Definitely a little off center. I think that's it's got to be my aspect ratio. I don't think that was 334. Got her set. We'd never really decrabbed. Let's see here. Where did we touch down at? Vertical speed is less than 200 feet a minute. So, yeah. Not bad though. Not bad. All right, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I guess that landing plugin is probably showing its age. But I'm going to wrap it up. This is going to wrap it up for us, guys. I am glad that you guys stopped by the stream this evening. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you do some Airbus flying. Make sure to take some screenshots, post them in the Discord. I did update our picture-in-picture Discord countdown with all the juicy screenshots. I love seeing those beacon ones, too. Look at that. I got a little beacon thing going on. If you get a screenshot with the beacon flashing, it's pretty sweet. I love the touchdown smoke, too. Oh, that was cool. I love X-Plane. All right, guys. Like I said, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Stay healthy. If you're a member, just be paying attention to your notifications on YouTube. So I might be doing a members-only like live podcast or live stream this weekend as well. Just something for the members. I know I'm behind on the podcast. It's just really hard to come to the office and do all that and then not stream. So anyway, if you're a member, keep a lookout for that. Until next time, guys, mod sponsors, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I'm V1. Y'all take care now. See ya!